Well, the first thing you gotta realize, brother, is this right here is the future of wrestling. You can call this the new world order of wrestling, brother.
V trigger. One. No! Oh my God! Omega erupted. Look at this. It's gonna happen. Look out! Michael's counter. Michael's going for another kick. Austin, he got it. The stagger.
Welcome, yo, bro nation, to the new installment, the first of the new year for the best of the best countdown. And today we are talking the best matches of the year 2021. What is the top 10? Let's talk about it. Let's go, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am Zach, your host, here on the Yo Bro Nation YouTube channel, and we are indeed talking, like I said, the best of 2021. This won't be a very long video. I'm going to make these a lot more short-formed. They're just countdowns, man. They're just countdowns. I don't need to go on and on and on and on and on and on for days, right? Anyways, welcome back to the channel. You guys already know, down in the description, YouTube will have you links down there. You can go to our Facebook, you can go to our Twitter. Both are linked down in the description down below. But like this video, share it with your friends if you think they might be into it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, ding, so you can know all of our upcoming stuff. All right, that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about for the start of this. So, what qualifies for me as the best match of the year? Now, obviously, there are going to be matches that I'm going to have on here that you may not agree with. There might be matches that are not. Now I got the hiccups. There might not be matches on here that you think should be. But look, my criteria was simple. Did I watch it? And did I like it? And what did I like the most from start to finish? Now, there may be a few matches that the match itself wasn't great, but maybe it was the story in the match. Or maybe it was everything around the match, the build. Like, it's what I thought was the best based upon the, what I thought was the best thing. So, like I said, we may not agree. We may not agree on everything, but that's okay. That's okay. Let me know down in the comments below what you would put as your top 10 matches of the year. I'm actually quite interested to know that, so put that stuff down in the link, or in the comments. The comments. God damn, I can't get it right. It was a long break, everyone, okay? But happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. So, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's start off with number 10. And coming in at number 10, a match that a lot of you probably have not seen. But I am talking The Amazing Red versus Will Ospreay in House of Glory Reborn. House of Glory Reborn. This match was off the charts. First off, the match itself was really fucking good. All right. I personally have not seen a lot of Amazing Red matches. Personally, I've seen a ton of Will Ospreays, but Will Ospreay, of course, being at this point in time the real IWGP World Heavyweight Champ. Well, he was going through America, New Japan Strong, etc., just running wild, and then he came here. They had this match. It was actually called by two YouTubers that I really, really freaking like, which they're down in the description. They're links to their channels. Amazing. Like, the commentary was really great. JD and Solomonster did great commentary that really build the match. The match itself was great. They ended up going to a draw. They double pin. They couldn't decide who was the winner. So the crowd was really into it there in New York City. And then you get the finish of Will Ospreay just low blowing Amazing Red to roll him up for the pin. It was brilliant. It was. And I had to put this. Like I said, this isn't a match that everyone's going to see or would have seen. But I am telling you, it's on YouTube. Go watch it. Go watch it. It was awesome. Will Ospreay versus Amazing Red. It was an amazing match. Go check it out. I highly, highly think, I highly recommend it, should I say. Definitely. All right, so let's get to the rest of this thing. And you're going to know a theme. You're going to notice a theme throughout this top 10 list. Let's go ahead and get into it. But then, at number 9, we're talking from Grand Slam AEW Dynamite from Arthur Ashe Stadium, Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega. They went the distance. They had the urge for speed, I think. I don't know. I don't remember the song. But this match was an instant classic. Bryan Danielson's first match in AEW after debuting. He went right for the top. Wasn't for the title, but you had, the 5-star, 6-star bout machine, Kenny Omega taking on the returning American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, in the opening match of Dynamite that night. They went 30 minutes to, bell to bell, and it was great. I remember watching that. They were in the biggest show they had, Arthur Ashe Stadium. I think they had 20-some-odd-thousand people there, and that crowd was hot for the match. The match was brilliant. Them going the distance was great. Protected both guys, and a lot of times in WWE, people are like, oh, if we're a draw, who'd have to do? But it was different because AEW doesn't do that a lot. So, just the story in that match of Bryan trying to just prove that he belongs at the top of the card there in AEW, and he wanted to go right for the head honcho, which if you did WWE and you showed up, you'd face Dolph Ziggler or some shit, right? Because that's the trope. You show up in WWE, you face Dolph Ziggler. I'm not saying Dolph Ziggler's a bad wrestler. Not saying that at all. But it was great. It was great. I loved this match. I was so hyped. I think I actually did a short on the channel afterwards where I actually talked about the match, I think. At least I put out a tweet, so you can go check that out. But on to number 8. And at number 8, SummerSlam. Holy fuck, was this not great? Brood Edge versus Seth Rollins, the first of their 3 awesome matches. This was the first match to kick off their trilogy. Of course, Seth screwing over Edge at Money in the Bank to cost him the Universal Championship. There they were in Las Vegas, in your Allegiant Stadium, this huge building, and Edge comes out with the Brood entrance to start, and it was like, oh my god, and then Seth with his pirate gear. Seth, who of course is, at this point in time, and even then, doing his absolute best work. These guys killed it. The whole story of Seth trying to get Edge's neck because he said, I didn't take you out in 2014, but I will do it here. So Seth trying to just take out Edge, but Edge fighting back the veteran who's, hey, you don't know everything, calling Seth Edge Light, but you gave him respect after the match was over. You're not Edge Light and everything, but it was a great first match in a trilogy where, honestly, the matches just got better. I will tell you now, their Hell in a Cell match is not on my top 10 list. Some people may disagree with that. I could not put three of these matches in the same type of list. There's a little spoiler. You will see the other match somewhere in this list. But it was great. It was great. I don't know what else to tell you. It was a fantastic match. I can't recommend it enough. Honest to God, I can't recommend it enough. But we're going to move on to number 7. And another Edge match. And another one who's already been on this list. Already coming back. At number 7. Number 7, we're talking the main event of night 2 of the entire WrestleMania show. Triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. This was not supposed to be what the match was going to be. But these 3 guys put together had magic. You could say match quality was better for my previous one. You could have jumped, but the story of how Bryan got into the match and Edge winning the Rumble, wanting that championship 10 years to the day from when he lost his World Heavyweight title, having to hand it back over because of his neck and having to retire, was a brilliant story. And then the match happened, and these guys killed it. They had great chemistry, all 3 of them. let alone by themselves, one-on-one action. But all of them in this match just, killed it. And this was the first match the first show with fans in attendance since, before the pandemic started. And it was a great show. It was a great show, and this was a great main event to cap off the whole weekend. And the spots, you see it here in this little spot here, them both putting Roman in the fucking crossface, Edge using that bar on their face, and then the visual at the end of Roman Reigns smashing and stacking Edge and Daniel Bryan. You've never seen that in a match like this at a WrestleMania. He stacked them and pinned both of them. All right? That was the visual to end the night. That was fucking awesome. I don't know what else to say. This match was brilliant. A lot of people hated it. Ooh, Roman. No, it was right. And it went the way it should have. Roman smashed them, stacked them, pinned them. It was the right call, everyone. Don't argue with me and don't at me. Well, let's go ahead and let's move on to number 6. This match, oh my God. Second match of a series that these guys have had. We're talking Ilya Dragunov versus Walter at TakeOver 36 for the NXT UK Championship. Oh my God. This match was great. Definitely the best match on that card, WrestleMania weekend. God damn, it's hard to think that this was one of the last takeovers that we had. That damn, man. That's rough to think about now. But these two put on such an incredible match, man. Hard-hitting. Walter's always hard-hitting. And Ilya, he gave it right back to Walter on this show. TakeOver 36, man. I don't know what else to say. Just go watch this match. If nothing else, go on the network, Peacock, whatever you have. Watch this match and appreciate what we had. And, damn, takeovers are over. Takeovers are over, man. That sucks. The final takeover we ever had, TakeOver 36. That sucks. I'll move on. Just watch this match. I don't need to say nothing. If you haven't seen this, if you've seen this, and just go watch it. This was one of the best matches. But now let's get to the top 5. All right, let's round it up. Let's get to it. The top 5. And in at number 5, holy smokes. This match over-delivered on what we were probably expecting. I'm talking the steel cage match. I'm talking the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks for the AEW tag team titles at All Out back in September. I mean, come on, right? Like, this was so good. So good. Bloody, violent, awe-inspiring. I did not expect the Lucha Bros to win. I honestly thought they were going to lose, but then they actually did get the victory. So many crazy spots. You got the spot with the Jays, and I believe it was Matt super kicking the Lucha Bros with the Jays with the fucking thumbtacks on the bottom of them. The double package pile drivers on the apron. Fucking Ray Phoenix doing Ray Phoenix shit. By the way, as of the time of recording this, I would like to send my condolences to Ray Phoenix, who broke his arm on Dynamite this past week. So, to you, sir, I say speedy recovery. Hope you get better. You're the man. But just this whole thing, and then even the visual of after the match of Penta hugging his daughter, bloody. I mean, he was bleeding so bad. But it was a beautiful visual. It really was. So, I think that was awesome. The whole thing was great. So, just them, them coming out with the band, playing them into the show. You're like, oh fuck, this was a big time match, top to bottom, big time, and awesome. It was an awesome match from top to bottom. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. But let's go ahead. Let's move on. Let's move on to number 4. And this match was probably just as violent. And I'm talking Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, Lights Out match, St. Patrick's Day Slam on Dynamite back in March on St. Patrick's Day. This match, I am telling you, holy shit, this is the match that put Britt Baker on the map. It is what really got us from the previous version of Britt Baker to what we see now as an AEW Women's Champ. Yes, they were building her prior to this after her knee got hurt and turned on her heel, but this, Thunder Rosa, put her on the map. The first women's match to main event a Dynamite, even though it was unsanctioned. That was to protect both of them, right? So neither one really had a loss on their record because they're building both, and you're gonna get this rematch probably at Double or Nothing. I think we'll see it Double or Nothing, but the visual of Britt Baker at the end of that match just bleeding is a visual that's, and some people may say this is hyperbole. Some people may say this is slander or disrespectful, but that shot of Britt by the end of that match, bloodied, is on par with Stone Cold Steve Austin at the end of WrestleMania 13 when he had his match with Bret Hart at the end of their match at 13, the way he was bloody. I'm not saying this match is on par with that match or where it's pushing them, but it's that visual. And that was great. The match was really awesome. These two killed it. No, there is not enough praise we could have gave them for this match. Both women did it. Thunder Rosa, such a great partner to work with. She really helped get Britt to where we are now. Because it was after this, then Britt started her push to the women's title at Double or Nothing. And it was awesome. I don't know how else to put it. And I know I keep saying that a lot. Like, well, yeah, you're really intellectual, buddy. You just keep using awesome. Because that's the best way I can describe these matches. This match was that. It was awesome. It was great. And it looked fantastic. Go watch it. Go back on the replay, Fight TV, BR, whatever. Go watch this match. It might even be on YouTube. I don't know. But it was great. I thought it was great. Ooh, God, my beard looks great. On to number 3. And number 3, another Bryan Danielson match. We're talking Winter is Coming. Just a month ago, Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship in that fucking great 60-minute draw. I did not think I'd be happy with a 60-minute match that ended in a draw. The second match Bryan was in, where he ended up in a draw. This is his third match on this list. I mean, the story that these two told of Bryan going through the Dark Order, getting into the match, Adam Page learning to be the champion, learning to defend his title and stuff like that, only to come up short right at the end when he was about to hit that buckshot and get the win, but the draw happened. Honestly, then setting up the rematch, which, if you haven't seen it, was maybe better than this match. So that makes me excited for next year's list, right? But it was so good. So good. The man and Hangman, like just the way that these guys went from bell to bell was great. And again, people are like, well, WWE does that. People don't like it. But again, they don't do this a lot. And when they do it, it's to help push the narrative forward. It's not to, well, we don't want Roman to lose, but, we've been pushing Braun Strowman or I don't know, fucking whoever they think might be the next big guy. We don't want to make them look bad either. So let's just do a draw and whatever. Or it's just a regular television match. Oh, they went to a draw. No real reason for it. So this was to push the narrative, to set up the next match. That was good. That was a good thing. And it was a great way to start the show. No one expected them to go 60 minutes. But they did. And they did a brilliant match. And it was Bryan in control. And Hangman at that last second. Right there. Just for the bell to take it away. And then it moved him on to the next match. Which I'll talk about next year. I'm sure it'll be a part of my top 10. So, it was brilliant. I don't know what else to tell you. It was a brilliant match. So let's go ahead. Let's move on to number 2. And number 2, we are back at WrestleMania for this first night's main event. We are talking Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship in the first match with 2 black females to main event a WrestleMania, which in itself is awesome. It's not even why it's number 2 on this list. The match was great. All right, it was a main event of WrestleMania great. And the match they put on, plus the fact that this was such a historic moment for females and females of that demographic, that culture, to be represented in this main event. I remember when the first women's main event came up, and I was so happy because it was something for my daughter to see. But then you get this was so much more. And honestly, this match was better than the first women's main event. It just was. But to see these two, Suzie was watching it with me. She was into the match. It was a great match. No way else to cut it. Fantastic match. And these two, they were just great. The hair whip towards the end and the emotion you see them at the beginning of the match where they take a second to take it in. Yeah, this is a big moment. Now let's get back to work. Sasha playing heel. Bianca getting her moment, which a lot of people were scared wouldn't even happen. But they gave it to her and they let her run with it. She's going to have another moment this year. I am positive. It was so great on so many different levels. The match, the build to the match was shit, but the context of the match, the historic nature of it was all great, honestly. So that's what I think. So we are going to move on to number 1, but before we get there, like I said, there was a lot of matches I could have picked from that I didn't like. Yeah, Seth versus Edge, Hell in a Cell, I couldn't. But there are a few honorable mentions. So what are those honorable mentions? Well, we have Roman Reigns versus Edge at Money in the Bank. Killer match. Edge trying to be that veteran, still trying to get that Universal Championship, only to fall short because Seth Rollins taking it away from him by interfering had to be rough. I imagine that probably was uber freaking rough. We're talking Seth Rollins versus Edge, Madison Square Garden, on SmackDown on September 10th, 2021. This match also is an honorable mention. Like I said, probably better than the match at SummerSlam, but of course, the SummerSlam match having the fact that it was SummerSlam and it was their first match and the whole Edge thing. But this, riding Edge off of TV to then set up the Hell in a Cell. Again, another brilliant match for television. Could have main evented a pay-per-view. That was awesome. And the last of my honorable mentions, I'm talking CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. This was not a classic on the mat. This was just a match that, honestly, it was just two old dudes with some real history that had some real beef at one point, killing it in a match. Eddie Kingston showing that he definitely belonged towards the top of the card, and it was just more of CM Punk learning to win again, learning to be a wrestler again, and finding that he could still do it. The match was great. The build was great, even though it was super short. I think it was great. So, with those out of the way, what is my number one? What was my number one? And my number one is... Drum roll, please. Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page from Full Gear this year. I mean, was there really any other choice? I mean, sure, I could have picked anything, but this was literally a culmination of the entire history of AEW, from Adam Page winning the Casino Battle Royale to losing it All Out, the first All Out, to then losing to Kenny at Full Gear the year before in the Eliminator Tournament, to Kenny winning the title and holding it this whole time, almost a full year. I mean, it was all building to this. It was Hangman's story, him losing and having to pick himself back up and start over and do it. That was the story. That was what they were building to. That's what they wanted to build. And that's the thing. And the match was fucking great. It was still a great match, but this was Hangman's story. He had already come up short so many times and had to, pick himself back up. So yeah, this was definitely, without a doubt, the number one choice. It, to me, was the number one match for match and story and the build, like the such great long-term booking of this match. Had they not pulled the trigger here, I think Hangman's story would have failed. And he was so super over. I'm talking like Steve Austin levels of over for today's standards. That may be a little too much, but the dude was hot. And you thought he was going to get it all out, but they waited just a little bit longer so he could go home and have a kid. That's some cowboy shit. And it was great. The match was great. Just damn. And seeing that visual of him finally winning that title. And I don't think Hangman will have a long title run. I think him chasing will be the better thing. I think he'll be the first two-time champ. I think he'll be the first two-time champion. But it was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment that I loved. I know everyone was really into. And it was unanimously probably the top moment for a lot of people. You could throw Brian Omega, Brian Page, any Bryan Danielson match from this year, almost. At least 5 or 6 to hit. Like, before I finished this list, I kid you not, I had 5 different Bryan Danielson matches between WWE and his AEW run so far that could have been match of the year. And he's already got one in the bag this year. Fuck, you could have had him and Minoru Suzuki as a top match of the year. But ultimately, it came down to this. Their story, from the Elite. You could say this is longer, from the split from the Elite to being part of the Elite, the Bullet Club, etc. It's match of the year for me. But that's it. That's my list. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I really would love to hear what you guys have to say. So, lots of stuff on the channel. You guys got all my movie reviews. There's a link right there in the description for all my previous movie reviews. You guys can go check out. I'm talking Jingle All the Way, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Matrix, stuff like that. More specifically, you guys can check out my NC reviews, as in my Captain America Winter Soldier review that came up yesterday. It's right there. There in the description below. You guys can go check that out. More stuff to come this week. I got my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers retro movie review coming. I got a Down to You movie review. Guardians of the Galaxy next week from AMC Reviews. Don't forget to check out my other channels. There's Yo Bro Gaming. That's going to be up and running. Go subscribe to that. I got content coming on that. Actually, I think next week, if I'm actually being right, next week, I start kicking off with my Madden gaming, just in time for the playoffs, everybody. That's going to be there. Check out the Yo Bro Podcast Network. I'll be doing the Yo Bro Nation podcast on there. I'll be doing Squared Circle podcast on there. And real quick, a little bit of information. At the end of the month, I will also be doing a live, well, it won't be live, but a live review outside of the Dome in St. Louis for my Royal Rumble review. That's going to be pretty fun. So come by, check that out. I'll probably upload a vlog later. So much going off the channel and the brand as a whole. So thank you guys for coming here. And remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and above all else, join the nation. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.